Hello, welcome to my video. This is a bokuaka storyline that takes place post-time skip, so there are very slight spoilers. As a warning, this story contains a mention of vomit, though nothing explicit. As always, I do hope you enjoy. Now on to the video.
In which Bokuto and Akaashi celebrate their anniversary. Be quiet, be quiet. Akaashi grumbled as he came out of his peaceful slumber, his arm appearing from under the bedsheets and aiming wildly at his blaring alarm clock. After a bit, he finally managed to click the right button to shut it up. Akaashi sighed in relief and rubbed at his eyes groggily as he peered at the digital alarm clock. Letters and numbers were displayed on the screen in a blinding neon blue. 9:03 a.m. Saturday, January 8th. Akaashi instantly scrambled out of bed when he realized what day it was. He sped into the bathroom to rushedly wash his face and quickly brush his teeth before lumbering down the stairs. Akaashi searched the house high and low, finally finding who he was looking for when he reached the dining room. He was standing next to the quaint table for two he often sat at with Akaashi while holding a small lighter in his hand. The lighter held the flame he brought to a buttery yellow candle at the center of the table, filling the air with the smell of thick and sweet honey. His silvery hair with its opal tips stood tall as ever, his golden eyes darting about the table to ensure his setup of pastries and wine was nothing short of perfect. He suddenly became aware that he was not alone in the dining area, and he turned around to meet Akaashi's gunmetal blue eyes with a grin. Kiji. Akaashi smiled back. Bokuto put down the lighter and walked towards Akaashi, the two becoming one in a big, warm embrace. Akaashi pulled back after a few moments to cup his boyfriend's face, standing up a bit on his tippy toes to press a short but meaningful kiss to his lips. Happy anniversary, love. Happy anniversary to you too, Kiji. Bokuto peppered Akaashi's face in loving kisses before pulling him towards the table. Pastries and wine for breakfast? I feel like a rich woman living off of her husband's money. Like the ones we see in those movies? Precisely those ones. Bokuto chuckled. That's exactly what I was going for. I wanted to start off our anniversary day right. I've got an entire afternoon of surprises for you. Akaashi smiled and reached across the table to hold Bokuto's hand. I look forward to it, love. I've got a few surprises for you, too. Really? Tell me, tell me, tell me. Akaashi laughed as Bokuto tugged on his hand gently. Okay, I'll tell you one. I booked us a room for 2 nights starting today at that new luxury hotel you've been ogling at in magazines. Bokuto's eyes widened, his toothy smile filling up his entire face. You didn't. I did. Bokuto all but squealed in anticipation. I can't wait. Akaashi smiled as he sipped his wine, his heart warming at the sight of Bokuto's broad grin. He internally gave an apology to his credit card for the hit it took from the cost of the hotel room, though it was half-hearted. Bokuto's joyous face was priceless. I'm glad you're excited. Where did you get all these pastries from anyway? As far as I know, there's not a place nearby. Oh, I made them all this morning. Akaashi's eyes widened. Really? I'm surprised our kitchen didn't burn down. Kiji. Bokuto pouted. Have some amount of faith in me. The right corner of Akaashi's lips twitched as he tried to suppress a smile. I'm only joking. Good. Sorta. HMPH. Akaashi giggled. Really though, you must have gotten up pretty early to do all this. Bokuto ran a hand through his hair. Yeah, guess I did. But you like it, so no matter how early I had to get up. I thank you, Bo. Bokuto raised Akaashi's hand and brought it to his lips for a brief kiss. Course, Kiji. This is just a small token of my appreciation. Now let's try the pastries. The two dug into the pastries and sipped on their wine, partaking in good-natured banter and conversation about how work and life had been treating them. After a little while, their plates and glasses were empty. Bokuto offered to do the dishes as he stood up from his chair, his jaw visibly clenching and his shoulders tensing as he did so. Akaashi frowned upon seeing him wince. You okay, Bo? I'm fine, it's just that my back has been killing me since this morning. That doesn't sound fine. Don't worry, Kiji, I probably just slept wrong. And you standing up all that time while baking probably didn't help, huh? Take a bath with Epsom salt and some of my essential oils, that should help. Wanna bathe together? Oh. Akaashi felt his heart flutter. Okay. I'll go get the bath ready. Akaashi laughed as he watched Bokuto run up the stairs. He looked around at the candle, wine glasses, and plates on the table, thinking of how grateful he was to have Bokuto as he scooped up the dishes and headed toward the kitchen. Why are you huffing and puffing? All you did was set up a bath. I'm growing old, Kiji. Love, you're not even 30 yet. Don't you try to reason with me. Akaashi shook his head as he grabbed 2 loofah sponges. Are you sure you're okay? Kiji, I'm fine. But Bokuto didn't seem fine. Sure, he had his off days, but this was particularly odd. Bokuto could run a marathon and barely break a sweat. Akaashi had witnessed it before himself. Not to mention, he was a volleyball player, for Christ's sake. His stamina was otherworldly. So why was preparing a bath so tiring? Akaashi's racing thoughts were interrupted by the sound of sloshing water. He looked up from the floor to see Bokuto in the bath. Bokuto raised his muscular arms and made grabby hands at Akaashi. Don't keep me waiting, Kiji. Akaashi pushed his thoughts to the back of his head and gave Bokuto an apologetic smile. Sorry. He quickly joined Bokuto in the bath, allowing Bokuto to wrap his strong arms around his boyfriend's waist and pull Akaashi's back to his chest. The water had a fresh, citrusy smell from the essential oils, its surface covered in suds and rose petals. Akaashi sighed happily and leaned back into Bokuto's chest. This is nice. Right. Or, remember when we took baths together nearly every night? We don't do that too often anymore. It'd be nice if we could, wouldn't it? But, your days are consumed by volleyball, and mine by my own work. You're right about that. But, today it's just you and I. No work, no nothing. Let's enjoy the day to the fullest, okay? Akashi hummed and turned his head to plant a kiss on Bokuto's cheek. Of course we will. Say, Kiji, you remember how I asked you out? How could I forget? I didn't have a car for a little while, so you would pick me up from work and drive me home. It gave me an excuse to spend more time with you. What luck, right? Right. Oh, I interrupted you, didn't I? Sorry, go on, Kiji. Well, one day after you dropped me home, you gave me a pretty pink envelope and told me to open it once I got inside. And when I opened it, there was a piece of paper that said, "Will you be my boyfriend?" You even added little checkboxes for yes and no. Pretty creative, if I do say so myself. Akashi laughed. It's the most ridiculous and hilarious way I've ever been asked out. I'll take it. Bokuto kissed the top of Akashi's head before laying his chin there. Good thing you checked the yes box. Good thing indeed. After we're done here, wanna watch my Tomorrow Your Yesterday? I do, but that movie makes you all moody every time we watch it, and I don't exactly want to deal with a moody Bokuto counter out today. Bokuto placed a hand on Akashi's chest where his heart would be as he spoke in a dramatic, grandiose voice. Because Kiji, it's sad. It tugs at my heartstrings every time. But it's your favorite movie, so I shall suffer through the pain. Akashi shook his head with a small smile. You're such a big baby. I am not. You are. I'm not. You are. I am not. Bokuto began to tickle the sides of Akashi's body mercilessly, and soon the sounds of splashing water and laughter filled the air. Take it back and say that I'm not. Akashi attempted to speak in between his bouts of laughter. But you are. I won't stop until you say that I'm not. Fine, I surrender, you're not. Bokuto's attack ceased, allowing Akashi to finally catch his breath as he leaned back into Bokuto once again. Bokuto's arms returned to their place around Akashi's waist, and he leaned down to whisper in Akashi's ear. I love you. Akashi turned his head and gave Bokuto a quick peck on the lips. I love you, too. You better prove me wrong though by not getting all sad during the movie, okay? You bet I will. I thought you were gonna prove me wrong. I can't help it. Akashi was spooning Bokuto on their living room couch, holding his boyfriend close to him as the movie played on the television. He ran his fingers through Bokuto's soft hair, hoping to calm him down. It wasn't until the end credits that Bokuto had finally stopped making sad puppy-like noises. Such a baby. Bokuto turned around and gave Akashi a fat, wet kiss on his cheekbone. Your baby. Akashi wiped at his cheekbone and playfully rolled his eyes. Yes, of course. My baby. Bokuto laughed slowly, and the corners of Akashi's mouth turned downwards. Love, are you feeling tired? You're acting kind of sluggish. Maybe a little bit. I did wake up super early. Want to take a nap? No. Bokuto began to sit up, and Akashi removed his arm from around him and sat next to him on the couch. Akashi watched Bokuto check his watch and saw his eyes widen. There's no time for a nap, we have to get going. Bokuto got up from the couch and started heading towards the front door of the house. Get going? Where to? Bokuto turned around and flashed a smile. It's a surprise. Now, come on. Let me just get my glasses from the room, you can go to the car. Bokuto nodded and turned back around to continue his way out of the house. Akashi went up the stairs to their bedroom to grab his glasses off the nightstand before walking to the dresser. He opened a drawer and pulled out what seemed to be a rolled up pair of socks. Akashi stuck his hand inside and pulled out a red, velvet box. He opened it carefully and smiled upon seeing the pristine, diamond ring inside. Whew. Okay Kiji, this is it. With a deep breath, he shoved the small box into his pocket and left the bedroom. No way. Yes way. Akashi's eyes were big as saucers, his mouth slightly agape as he stared at the building in front of him. It's a skydiving center. It is. You've always talked about how you wanted to go skydiving, so, bam. Here we are. Well. This is. Thank you, Bo. Bokuto's grin grew wider. Anything for you. Akashi's heart began to thump in his ears, and he felt himself already start to sweat. I know I've always talked about skydiving, but now that I'm here, I'm not sure if I want to do this. You're just getting nervous, Kiji. These people are professionals, you'll be a-okay. But what if? No. If you don't do this today, will you regret it tomorrow? ... Probably. I'll try to not let my nerves get the best of me. Bokuto threw his hands up in the air. Who? You got this, Kiji. Bokuto's gaze drifted to look behind Akashi. And one of your other surprises just arrived. Akashi turned around to be shocked by the sight of what Bokuto had been looking at. Kiru was standing behind him with Kenma by his side, a hand on his hip as he grinned. Hey lovebirds. Kiru gave Bokuto a bear hug and Akashi a gentler one. He then moved aside so that Kenma could give Bokuto and Akashi quick side hugs. We're not late, are we? Someone here lost track of time while he was streaming. Kiru glared down at Kenma. Kenma looked up at him, then to Bokuto and Akashi before bowing his head slightly. My bad, I got carried away. It's fine, we just got here too. Kiru-san, I'm guessing you're skydiving as well? Hell yeah. I went once back in college, and I've been wanting to do it again for a while now. You, Kenma? Kenma shook his head vigorously. I've read one too many stories about skydiving going wrong to ever want to do it, no thanks. You're a wuss. Kiru earned a punch from Kenma that made him grimace. Shut up. I'll wait in the lobby for you guys. I'll wait with you. What? Bokuto rubbed the back of his neck sheepishly. I was gonna skydive too, obviously. But I'm starting to feel kinda lightheaded, so I should sit this one out. Akashi held Bokuto's face in his hands. You haven't been yourself all day. Maybe we should go to the ER. No. It's just one of those days, I'll be fine. Just go have fun, Kiji. But. Kenma placed a hand on Akashi's shoulder. Don't worry, I'll be with him. Akashi was still unconvinced, but after looking into Kenma's serious, yet comforting eyes and Bokuto's big, soft ones, he finally gave in. Okay. Akashi gave Bokuto a quick kiss. I'll be back, love. Akashi turned to 𝘠𝑬𝑢. Shall we go inside? Yup. 𝘠𝑬𝑢 began to walk towards the entrance of the skydiving center before Kenma grabbed his arm. Kenma? In case you die, you better have my name in your will, or else I'm killing you a second time. Kenma. That's what you're thinking about? What? You're stinkin' rich. You make even more than me. Guess I do. Kenma could practically see the blood vessel about to burst in 𝘠𝑬𝑢's forehead. He smiled and let go of 𝘠𝑬𝑢's arm. Have fun. Kenma and Bokuto waved as they watched Akashi and 𝘠𝑬𝑢 head inside the center. Akashi laughed at 𝘠𝑬𝑢, the latter grumbling about net worths and passive income all the way.
I want my money.
You need to relax.
You're an asshole.
Uh-uh.
I want my money.
Akashi and 𝘠𝑬𝑢 were putting on their gear in a small group with other skydivers, all of them jitterish and chattering excitedly amongst themselves. Are you nervous about skydiving? Of course, but I'm more nervous about proposing, to be honest. 𝘠𝑬𝑢 chuckled. Don't blame you. I never properly expressed my gratitude for you helping me with ring shopping. So, thank you. No problem at all. Just make sure I'm the first person you invite to the wedding, okay? Akashi smiled and nodded his head. Of course, of course. So, how are you gonna propose? I'm taking him to a luxury hotel tonight. I've arranged it so that there'll be rose petals leading from the doorway to the bedroom. It'll be dim with lit candles, and on the bed, the words "Will you marry me?" are going to be written with petals. 𝘠𝑬𝑢 whistled and nodded his head approvingly. I never knew you could be so romantic, Akashi. It's definitely out there, especially for you. I know, but Bokuto really likes things like that. Besides, he's very special to me. 𝘠𝑬𝑢 smiled at the soft look on Akashi's face. Young love, so beautiful. We're nearly the same age. Details. 𝘠𝑬𝑢 placed a hand on Akashi's shoulder and squeezed it gently. Bokuto's just as crazy about you. Your proposal is going to go great. That's the hope. I believe in you. Now, let's go jump off of a plane 4 kilometers up in the sky. Akashi exhaled and gave 𝘠𝑬𝑢 a determined nod. Let's do this. So, how was it? That was simultaneously the best and worst thing I've experienced in my entire life. 𝘠𝑬𝑢 laughed and slung an arm around Akashi's shoulders as the pair walked back towards the skydiving center. I felt like I was flying. Right. That was so liberating. Boy, was that fun. Bokuto and Kenma really missed out. Akashi nodded in agreement. I know Bo would have loved it. I wish he could have come with us. We should all come back here again sometime soon. I'll try my luck at convincing Kenma to join us. I think you'd need more than luck. Probably a magician. 𝘠𝑬𝑢 began to laugh again as the two made their way through the inside of the center. They soon reached the lobby, though Bokuto and Kenma were nowhere in sight. They did say they'd wait for us in the lobby, right? Maybe they decided to wait outside? Maybe. Akashi and 𝘠𝑬𝑢 exited the building and entered the parking lot. They both looked around for a little while before 𝘠𝑬𝑢 grabbed Akashi's arm. You see them? 𝘠𝑬𝑢 didn't answer. He only gripped Akashi's arm and pointed. Akashi's eyes looked in the direction that 𝘠𝑬𝑢 was pointing, and his heart dropped. Bokuto was hunched over a garbage can, his hands clutching its sides as Kenma rubbed his back. Bo. Akashi rushed over to them with 𝘠𝑬𝑢 right on his tail. Kenma began to explain what happened once Akashi and 𝘠𝑬𝑢 reached them. Bokuto-san said he wanted some fresh air, so we came out here. And then he just started throwing up now out of nowhere. Akashi went to Bokuto's side as 𝘠𝑬𝑢 stood close by. Akashi, you said he's been weird all day. Let's get him to a hospital, there's one nearby. Bokuto raised his head from the trash can with a groan. His face was ghostly pale, and he looked at Akashi through half-lidded eyes. No. Love, you're not okay, we need to get you to the hospital. It's just an upset stomach, I'll be fine, just give me an hour. Bo. But I don't want us to be late to our next. 𝘠𝑬𝑢. Bokuto flinched at Akashi's stern tone and use of his given name. His hair drooped a bit, and he sighed in resignation. Okay. I'm sorry. Bokuto stood up, and Akashi grew even more worried as Bokuto swayed from side to side. Bokuto's eyes suddenly rolled to the back of his head, his knees giving out beneath him. 𝘠𝑬𝑢 was quick to catch him, and he slowly laid Bokuto down on the pavement. Akashi knelt down and shook his unresponsive boyfriend's shoulders. Bo. Kenma stepped away and called an ambulance while 𝘠𝑬𝑢 dashed inside the center for assistance, leaving Akashi to cry for Bokuto to wake up. 𝘠𝑬𝑢, can you hear me? Come on, get up. Please. Akashi sat on a hard, metal chair. He listened to the shakiness of his own breathing and the soft beeping of the heart rate monitor in the room. He was holding the hand of his boyfriend, who was lying in a bed. Bokuto had a peaceful look on his face, his chest rising and falling in time with the beeping of the heart rate monitor. If it weren't for the fact that he was in a hospital bed with sickly colored skin, one may have thought he was just enjoying a nap. Tears filled Akashi's eyes as he stared at Bokuto's face. Bo. I should have listened to my gut the second I realized you weren't yourself. Why didn't I listen to my gut? If I knew it was a silent heart attack, I would have taken you straight to the hospital. If only I knew. I really hope you're okay when you wake up. I love you, Bo. I love you, so much. Akashi looked down at his shoes as his vision blurred, tears soon falling from his eyes and onto the cold, tiled floor. Akashi felt something squeeze his hand gently, and his head shot up to see Bokuto smiling at him weakly. I love you too, Kiji. Bo. You're up. Oh my god, oh my god. Nurse, where's the nurse? Akashi reached for the red button on the side of Bokuto's bed with his free hand, but Bokuto's voice stopped him. No, wait. I'm sorry for doing this to you, Kiji. Kiru and Kenma too. I was irresponsible. ... And, I could have died. I even ruined our anniversary. Can you forgive me? Akashi smiled through his tears and kissed Bokuto's forehead. Don't even say sorry, love. I'm just glad that you're okay. God, I was so scared. I don't know what I'd do if I lost you today. I'm really sorry I put you through this. I'm really sorry. Akashi leaned down and rubbed his nose affectionately against Bokuto's. I'm just glad that I didn't lose you. You'll never have to know what that's like. I'll make sure you're stuck with me forever. Akashi giggled and wiped the tears from his face. I'd be happy with that. Really, truly happy with that. Akashi stayed the night at the hospital with Bokuto. He spent the next few days with him as well, that is, until he received an important call from work one morning. Of course, Akashi insisted that he stay with Bokuto, but Bokuto assured him that he would be fine at the hospital. He was in good hands, after all, and he didn't want Akashi's mountain of work to grow larger due to his absence. Once Akashi left, Bokuto spent the day watching volleyball games on his phone, reading manga, and talking with friends and family that visited him. But that wasn't all that happened throughout the day. Whenever Bokuto's nurse came in to check up on him, she would hand him a rose with a smile. She kept this up until the evening when she handed Bokuto his fifth and final rose, this time handing him a pretty pink envelope as well. Bokuto opened the envelope curiously and pulled out the card that was inside. He opened it slowly, taking in the neat, familiar cursive handwriting. Bokuto's eyes grew wider as he read the words written on the card aloud. If you're reading this, I suppose that means you've received all 5 roses. A rose for every year we've been together. I couldn't surprise you at the hotel, so I'll bring the surprise to your hospital room. See you soon, love. Although the card wasn't signed, Bokuto knew it could only be from one person. He read the card again and again, growing more giddy each time. After what seemed like an eternity, Bokuto's hospital room door finally opened. Everything that happened thereafter occurred in slow motion. Akashi stepped into the room with a bouquet of bright, red roses in his right hand. He was wearing a crisp, black tuxedo and a small smile. He opened the door wider to reveal nurses, Kiru, Kenma, a couple of Bokuto and Akashi's other friends, some of the MSBY jackals, and Bokuto's family looking through the doorway with grins on their faces. Akashi walked over to Bokuto's bedside and handed him the flowers, kissing his forehead as he did so. I hope I didn't make you wait too long, love. Bokuto stuttered as he spoke. No, not at all. You look. Wow. You look so beautiful, Kiji. Akashi smiled and raised his hand to caress Bokuto's cheek. Thank you, but you're the beautiful one, Bo. I'm not the expressive type, and I know I don't say it often, but, you really are beautiful in every way. Everything about you and everything you do, it's all just so beautiful. I want to see your beautiful face every day when I wake up, experience all the beauty you bring to this life firsthand as far as I can. I want to be with you wherever I go, no matter how far I go. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Kiji. Akashi dropped down on one knee and pulled the red, velvet ring box from his pocket. Oh my god. Bokuto began to tear up. I remember the first time I saw you. 10 years ago, in the 𝘕𝘰𝘬𝘠𝘬𝘠 gym during a match. It was my final year of junior high, and it was your first year in high school. You were soaring through the air, waiting for a volleyball to come your way. And from the moment I saw you, I knew you were a star. Throughout the years, we've gone from teammates to friends, and then to lovers. I thank my stars every single day that someone as amazing as you loves me. You've been a person to hug, a shoulder to cry on, someone to laugh with, a person to kiss goodnight. And, I guess you'd expect that with almost any good boyfriend, but you played the role 120%. You've changed my life in ways I never thought possible. I plan to love you the way you've loved me, today, tomorrow, and, well, for the rest of time. Whenever I think of my future, you're there, and I could never imagine spending it with anyone else. So, with slightly shaky hands, Akashi opened the ring box, revealing the dazzling diamond ring inside. Will you marry me? Bokuto sobbed as he clutched the bouquet and held it to his chest, nodding wildly. Of course I will. Everyone standing outside the hospital room began to clap and cheer, but all the noise seemed distant. In that moment, it was just Bokuto and Akashi in the room. Akashi stood up from the floor and leaned over the bed, kissing Bokuto like he never had before. The kiss was electrifying, one breath shared as their mouths joined in a timeless dance. A warm sensation that came from the feeling of closeness coursed through their bodies, one that neither ever wanted to let go of. When they parted, Bokuto looked up at Akashi with red lips and a slightly flushed face. He smiled, and Akashi smiled back. I love you, Bo. And I love you, Kiji. Now put the ring on me. When Akashi slipped the diamond ring onto Bokuto's finger, it felt right. Like it should have been there all along. This proposal wasn't Akashi's original plan, but things often didn't go according to plan when it came to Bokuto. Then again, it didn't really matter how he proposed. He was madly in love with someone who loved him just as much. They were two people who just wanted to spend eternity together. That was all that mattered.